have you been? Haven't seen you in a long time.
I know, because they've been having too many early services that I can't get to. Really makes me mad.
It's hard. They have like every other service now.
I know, which is just not okay. It's really an abuse.
Well, you just have to tell them.
I do. I tell them every time.
Sure.
I know you know. I'm not shy about it.
Are we streaming today as well?
I believe so. Yeah. It said so in the email.
Your wife came in carrying a
Cobbler. Actually, if we find, I'm trying to, what page is that? It's Heinz,
Here, I'll take this out. So. What's all right? I got it. I wrote it down for what you were saying. So.
And there's a tree of life for those who hold fast to it, and all its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life for those who hold fast to it,
And all its
supporters are happy. Well, if you just follow that one line.
Well,
Shalom,
I'm not gonna have
shalom. But don't you have the pages there?
Yeah, but I don't know that I have that. Well, sure.
You should.
What page is it?
374. So, I mean, it's here we go from for I have given you good instruction, do not abandon my Torah, and we go straight to the next line.
So you're doing the service again. You're doing.
And we
it's all
usually
just-
do them that hold fast to it is the way I learned how to sing it, but this is just how it's written here, so we can do either one. Huh?
374. We didn't. So I need to
Okay.
go. What time is it? Do you know? No, I don't have time. I'll just. I'll be fine.
Well, I can keep the, I mean, this book is going to be right here too.
Yeah.
And it's going to stay right there. So,
Well, a little bit left. So, who all's on the Vima tonight?
I have no idea.
Can we just sit right here? Well, we got Ruth and Jim and Charlotte and
Okay, where are you sitting, Jeannie?
I don't know. We were just determining that. How many people are going to be on the
I
Vima?
think clergy were here. Maybe I think. Where would you like me to share? I would like you to say whatever you would like. Michael's in charge seating, and Jeannie is. Well, aren't you going to
wanna
be
sit right here?
standing up there singing?
we should sit close by.
Yeah. Just sit right
How many singers we got? Two?
And we're going to stand up.
Okay, so you'll be
to
standing
be-
close by. All right. So Michael be the. So why don't we take? Why don't you sit here, Bruce, and I'll sit here.
Here.
I'll grab a. I'll give one Linda. Give it. It's his ego. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
That shows you how confident we are when we get started here. And Jeannie Long will start us off by lighting Shabbat candles.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Thank you. I'm reading on 127. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope, for Shabbat holiness, which inspires sacred living, for Shabbat memories glowing even in times of darkness, for Shabbat peace born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing, O God. Hine Matov's on 128.
הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. לי 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 לי. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. לי 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 לי. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, לי 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 לי. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
It was the practice of the mystics to read a number of Psalms, specifically 95 to 99, as part of the welcoming of Shabbat. So together, let's read one of them, Psalm 95 on 130 and 131. Come, let us sing joyously to Adonai. Raise a shout for our rock and redeemer. Let us come into God's presence with praise. Let us raise a shout for God in song. For Adonai is a great God, the great ruler of all divine beings. In God's hands are the depths of the earth. The peaks of the mountains are God's. God's is the sea, God made it, and the land which God's hands fashioned. Come, let us bow down and kneel, bend the knee before Adonai our Maker. For Adonai is our God, and we are the people God tends, the flock in God's care. Oh, if you would but heed God's charge this day. That comma between portions of service, the Hatzi Kaddish, is on 144.
Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, Ve'omad yivrach yirutei ve'amlim malchutei, B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'kayeh kol Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Bagala, u'v'zman kariv, ve'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Megorach, Le'alam U'lamei Amaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal, Shemei Kudsha v'richu, Le'la min kol birkata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiram belma, v'imru, Amen.
Please rise. As we say together, Baruch et Adonai Hambarak, Baruch Adonai Hambarak Leolam Voed. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praise be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever. Remain standing. Et Adonai Hambarak, Baruch Adonai Hambarak Leolam Voed. Please turn to page 149. Continue to stand, please, as we read together. Praise to you, Adonai our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evenings flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Amarib Avarabim. Please turn to page 150. We sing together. Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ata, Torah u'mitzvot, Tukim u'mishpatim, Otanu li'adta, Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shamenu, uv'kameinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'mismach devirei Toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem hayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla, negei yom v'layla, ve'ahat ka'at asir, mimei le'alim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohei Amo Yisrael, Ohei Amo Yisrael. And we recite the Shema together to bear witness to the oneness of God as we say the Shema on page 152. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Baruch Shem Kavod Malakuto Leolam Voed. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Together. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Please turn to page 155. Yes, everyone, please be seated. Thank you. As we read together, love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired or you are rested, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them in the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. On page 158 is the Mi Kamoka. Mi Kamoka ba'elim Adonai, Mi Kamoka medar HaKodesh, Norata hilot osefele, Norata hilot osefele, Malchuta ra'u vanecha, bokei hayom lifnei Moshe Miriam, Zeli, Zeli, anu ve'amaru. like you, O God, among the gods that are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders together? Your children witnessed your sovereignty, the sea splitting before Moses and Miriam. This is our God, they cried. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praised are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Together. Baruch atah Adonai, Gael Israel. We're turning now to page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Together. Baruch atah Adonai, habaris sukkot shalom, aleinu ve'al Yisrael, ba'al Yushalayim. And we continue on page 163. Together. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable, without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon time happens all the time.
We continue on page 164, Tefillah.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi gavi tahilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Turning to page 166, I'll read, Blessed are you, Adonai our God, God of our fathers and mothers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebekah, God of Rachel, and God of Leah, the great, mighty, and awesome God, transcendent God, who bestows loving kindness, creates everything out of love, remembers the love of our fathers and mothers, and brings redemption to their children's children for the sake of the divine name. Please join me at the end here. Sovereign, deliverer, helper, and shield. Blessed are you, Adonai, Sarah's helper, Abraham's shield. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, top of page 168. We'll all read together, and actually in the middle in English tonight. You are forever mighty, Adonai. You give life to all. You sustain life through love, giving life to all through great compassion, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, a sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up, and faithfully giving life to all, reviving. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai. You are holy, on page 170. Your name is holy, and those who are holy, you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. All together. Baruch atah Adonai, Hakel HaKadosh. Turning to page 175. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and prayers, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. All together. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha, v'yira na'avod. Turn to page 178. Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lechol Shalom, ki atah Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'enecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol et u'b'chol shah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Please be seated. As we welcome in the Sabbath, this is a moment for reflection, brief moment of prayer, or turn to page 180 for the classic words of prayer.
Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, V'gali, V'gali.
I'd like to call Miss Charlotte Ray up to participate in the Torah service, which starts today on 363. Assemble the people, men, women, and children, and strangers in your cities, to hear, to learn, to revere Adonai your God, to observe faithfully the words of Torah. And let their children who do not yet know it, that's us, hear, and they too may learn to revere Adonai, Adonai your God. Rise, please, as we open the ark.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Ki
Mitzion
mitzion tetzeh Torah, ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, u'devar Adonai mirushalayim, susharim rashechem, u'supiti ke'olam, v'yavo melech hakavod. Mihu ze melech hakavod, Adonai tzvaot, hu melech hakavod. Selah.
We say it every week, but it is true that in this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its freedom is gift to all who is a gift to all who treasure it. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah. Le'amo Yisrael B'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Gadlul Adonai iti uneromama Shemo Yachdav. Lecha Adonai HaGedula v'hatiferet v'hanesach v'hahod. Ki kol bashamayim uvaretz, ki kol bashamayim uvaretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha, nasi naseh lekol rosh. Romenu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishachavu lehar kodsho. Romenu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishachavu lehar kodsho. Put it over here. Linda? So, Parshat Erev, to follow, to obey, is the, hope we pulled out the right one for you.
Yes.
Is the third portion, oh, please be seated, please. We're all forgetting that.
A second one.
It's the third portion of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy, from the Greek, deutero, second, nomos law, the second law. Second time Moses is repeating the laws in Exodus. But in Hebrew, we name the books after the first significant word or two. So Deuteronomy is devarim, words, the words spoken by Moses. And this parsha contains words that everybody knows, even familiar to people with no knowledge of Bible at all. So listen as Linda chants for Lo al halachem lavado yichyeh ha-adam. Not by bread lives alone the man, or man does not live by bread alone. So join Charlotte and I and all of us in the blessing. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hamim, v'natam lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Could you stay tall with this because it wants to roll back on itself. Actually, if you don't want. V'zacharta et kol haderech asher holichecha Adonai Elohecha. Ze 40 shana bamidbar למען ענותך, לנסותך, לדעת את אשר בלבבך, התשמור מצוותיו אם לא. ויענך, ויריבך, ויאכילך את המן אשר לא ידעת, ולא ידעון אבותיך, למען הודיעך, כי לא על הלחם לבדו יחיה האדם, כי על כל מוצא פי אדוני יחיה האדם.
Charlotte, if you would read the translation.
The Lord your God has made you travel in the wilderness these past 40 years, that he might test you by hardships to learn what was in your hearts, whether you would keep his commandments or not. He subjected you to the hardship of hunger and then gave you manna to eat, which neither you nor your fathers had ever known, in order to teach you that man does not live on bread alone, but that one may live on anything that the Lord decrees.
The blessing after. Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Just get the, yeah, just put the cover, let's get the cover. So while our sacred scroll is out, it's our custom to remember those that are ill or sick within the congregation. And today we name Elliot Blumberg. Sharna was to be here, but has taken her father-in-law to the emergency room. Russ Schultz is recovering from surgery, and I think doing well. Jillian Shira, Eddie Deems, Graham Baker, Gordon Brody, Roseanne Margolis, Maria Hone, Harvey Leffer, William Westerman, Pauline Wittenberg, Susan Smith, Arthur Liederman, Patrick Cooney, Robert Klein, Jeffrey Mark, Alan Lusky, Stacy Lewis, Corrine Jacobson, Charlotte Fiwas, and Annette Dover. Any other names we should add? Few extra. Well, then let's sing the Misha Barak on 371 from the heart. Source of us a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberoch imotenu, mekor habracha liavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, also, while the scroll is out, if you would turn with me to 377. And together, let's read this prayer for the state of Israel. A lot going on there, and I think they need our prayers. Together. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise. Guide them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness and joy for all who dwell there. Amen. As we turn back to 370, let's briefly rise while we dress the Torah.
Mitzvot HaTorah asher sam Moshe lifnei Yisrael. Al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Lai, 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 lai.
Seated, please. A very brief Devar Torah. Were you surprised by what Charlotte read? We all thought we knew what that referred to, that there's a spiritual component to life. But Torah doesn't say that. When someone says, in fact, the Bible says, we should always think, maybe it does and maybe it doesn't. There are translation issues, there are cultural factors, and the context matters. So first, translation, the easy part. We all assume correctly that the line is not gender specific. Of course, there's no feminine in biblical Hebrew, and so ha-adam refers to the human, or all of humanity, all of us. That's easy. So what about cultural factors? What if you're Chinese? Use the Chinese word for bread, which is not part of the traditional Chinese ancient diet, and you're describing something foreign to them. So do you keep the original text, or do you render it in words familiar to the reader? Man does not live by rice alone. And what about context? The verse isn't talking about the spiritual, physical versus spiritual, but about the wilderness experience as a test of trust and obedience. God allows the people to become hungry and then sends manna to them, testing to see if they'll eat it, if they'll follow the instructions to eat this strange food. That's the meaning of the verse in context. You don't need bread. You can physically survive on something else. And by the way, Google manna. There are a number of very reasonable explanations for what it is. You, as have the Bedouin herders for centuries, survived for a while on manna. But how do we look at the verse now? Certainly none of us would quote that verse to any of the millions of people on this earth, including children who go to bed hungry, who do not know where their next meal is coming from. That would be insensitive, to say the least. But we should always be asking, what is the lesson for us today? What bit of wisdom is Torah teaching us? And that comes in the verse just following the not by bread alone, a verse that is the basis for the Birchat Hamazon, the blessing after meals. Our kids all come back from camp singing it. We never do here. And it reads, "When you have eaten your fill, give thanks to the eternal your God for the good land given you." So in a few moments, we're going to chant a Hamotzi prior to another wonderful Beth-El Oneg. You know, our congregation is known for good groceries. But consider for a moment that the Hamotzi does not bless the food we're about to eat. And unlike so many events that you and I have all been to, where the grace before meals asks God's blessing on the participants and blesses the food, we Jews do neither. And while we're enjoying that oneg, just a quarter mile from here, there may be plenty of people who are hungry. So Torah is telling us that we're fortunate. We're not blessed. We're not any better or more blessed than the poor and the hungry. So for those of us, all of us who are fortunate to have basic needs met, the message, I think, is that we should express gratitude to the power that brings forth from the earth the substance from which we make bread. So context is indeed important in determining meaning, both the context in the original source and the context in the audience being addressed. And may that always be God's will. And before you think that's original scholarship, let me tell you, if you're interested in any of the Devar Torahs I've presented to you here, go to our URJ website, reformedjudaism.org, click on Learning, click on 10 Minutes of Torah, and every week you'll get some interesting commentary written by two rabbis or two experts. So it's time to put the Torah back in the ark, and we should all rise. On 374, let us praise the name of Adonai, for God's name alone is exalted. For I have given you and gave us today good instruction. Do not abandon my Torah. Proceed to Elenu on page 586. Elenu l'shabeach l'adon hakol latet gedula l'etzer Breshit She'ulot shamayim ve'oseh
Elohim
Please be seated. As our loved ones journeyed through life, they left footprints wherever they went, footprints of kindness and love, courage and compassion, humor and inspiration, joy and faith. Even though they are gone, we can still look back and clearly see the trail they left behind, a trail bright with hope that invites us to follow. Today, although I don't know that the funeral has been accomplished yet, David Gorfine has passed away. He was a regular here. The burial will be in New York. And Judith Cooper has passed away. Service will be Monday. And the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the death of the following, please feel free to stand if a loved one is named: Reuben Archenhold, Reuben Blumberg, Pearl Bodner, Carmen Kochi, Helen Marcus Feld Cohen, Marvin Cummings, Julia Eckber, Sidney Eisenman, Maurice N. Fairman, Morris N. Freed, Meyer Gernsbacher, Robert Lawrence Gilstrap, Philip Henry Greenwald, Maurice Kahn, Sylvia Kushner, Beatrice Wolf Lang, Irvin Lerner, Sidney Levinson, Louis Maskell, Peter Oshman, Nettie White Ritchie, Harry Roth, Paul Schneider, Mitch Stensler, Esther Weinsacker, Jerry Wolins. Because there are so many of our brothers and sisters with no one to say Kaddish for them, and in solidarity with those that have risen, we will all rise. And according to the ancient custom of our ancestors, let's praise the Most High with the Kaddish that is on 598. Yit Gadal v'yit Gadash Shemei Rabbah v'alma divrach irte v'am lich malchute v'chai kon v'yumechon v'chai dekol beit Yisrael Bagala Usman Kariv Imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam Ulamei Amaya. Yit Barak V'yishtabach V'yit Bar V'raman V'naseh. V'yit Hadar V'yit Alev V'yit Alal Shnei D'Kudusha B'rechu. An Kolbek B'shirat. Tush B'chata B'nechamata. Damiran V'alma V'imru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemayim. V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom V'imrumav. Hu Ya'aseh Shalom. Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Please be seated. And I'm going to ask Bruce if you will do Kiddush for us. And let's see. Brandon, come on up. Brandon? Yeah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, Shabbat kodsho, v'ahavat uratzon,
Inkelanu, Zikaron l'maaseh bereshit, Ki hu yom tehila lamikra kodesh,
Zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, Kivanu v'acharta, v'tanu kidashta,
Mikol ha'amim, V'shabbat kodshecha,
Ve'ahav ratzon, in Kaltanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. And our motzi, and notice the wording. Motzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together, as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Good Shabbos, everyone. Shabbat shalom.
Good job, Michael. Nice service. Well done. Don't get that near your dad, he'll sneeze all over it. I saw him sneezing on it.
You're warning the kids.